is hot air popcorn in large amounts daily damaging to the body?
Well, I mean, come on, we can't be, raw food Nazis either. But the truth of the matter is, one of the things that people say to me who are not sick is if I were to eat a cooked food, what would some of the cooked foods look like that I could eat? For a person who doesn't have cancers or major viral or bacterial diseases or are really sick, eating a little air-popped popcorn, not fried popcorn, but air-popped popcorn, isn't that bad, providing the popcorn is what? Organic, biologically grown. Because, boy, all of that other stuff is genetically modified, even now in Europe. Most of it is. So that's number one. If you're eating it every day, I'm not sure that's a healthy thing for anyone to eat popcorn every day. It's a great roughage factor, as you know. But on the other hand, I think that you may eventually end up with an allergic reaction to it because all corns have been greatly hybrid. Imagine if the caller who just asked us recently about Candida asked me that question. It promotes Candida. And why we like it so much, even though it's puffy and chewy, is because it breaks down to sugar. So little bits for healthy people on and off, 2-3 days a week, not a big deal if it's air popped. Of course, don't put butter or nutritional yeast on it. Nutritional yeast is ungodly high in pesticides. How they make that is they put it on the top of molasses. Molasses is a nutritional part of sugarcane, and sugarcane is by far the most sprayed crop on the planet Earth with pesticides. They spray it practically every day. And so what you have to do is they do make herbal seasonings without a lot of sodium in them. All over the world you can buy this to put on that popcorn. Knock yourself out if you're healthy and try to have a little fun sometime.
Barbara says, I seem to have developed many food allergies and sensitivities over the years. And she did the IgG standard food assay, tested positive to things like asparagus, avocado, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, chili pepper, garlic, onion, parsley, pepper, and tomato.
Yeah.
She says, I've been raw for 3 months, but still seem to react to many of the foods, especially avocado, and I'm wondering if I can expect the allergies to ever go away with a raw food diet.
Well, number one, when somebody has allergies to natural foods, your body's become shocked. And when we do the wrong thing long enough, it even starts to have histamine activity or reaction to healthy foods. Now, it just doesn't trust you. That's what you're seeing. When you have allergies, the body doesn't trust you because you're taking something in either dietarily or breathing with pollens, and your body doesn't know how to process it because it's been overworked, overwhelmed, and undernourished. When you get on something for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, don't expect immediate resolution. What we've learned is that in about 95% of the cases, if you eliminate those foods that you are allergic to, and many of these tests are revealing enough to trust them. Not all of those allergic tests work, believe me. Cytotoxic testing is my favorite, but doesn't mean that that's even 100% perfect, but it's certainly the best one I've seen over the decades. With that said, even if they aren't all completely correct, it's likely most of it's correct, avoid the foods they tell you to avoid on that, and avoid them for 1.5 years, 18 months to 2 years. And in 95% of the cases, you'll no longer be allergic to it. Because now the body trusts you. It says, oh my God, she's not going to give me that garbage anymore. And so it doesn't start to swing like a drunk at something it doesn't see. It just doesn't react anymore. Now the way we do the testing for our alumni here, our guest here, is that they themselves monitor foods. They go on a monolithic type of diet, spread foods out by every 2 hours, on a sheet of paper put down if it's no reaction, bad reaction, or really bad reaction. They send that to us. And then we look at it chemically after they've graduated and say, oh, see, not only are the foods that is on the list what she's reacting to, but these other foods have similar chemistry, so avoid those too. And then we have like a 99% success rate in that.
Question from Ilona is, hi, Brian. Do you have suggestions on getting past or releasing old stagnant trauma and memories that maybe are inherited?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important to address this issue. I mean, here at Hippocrates, as many of you do know, everyone gets psychotherapy by gifted psychotherapists. And let me emphasize gifted because I think most of the people in the psychiatric and psychology field have severe problems themselves, and that's why they were attracted to that. And if anything, I've seen most of them hurt or harm or prolong the problems or even increase the problems of people that search out. So find a person who's really gifted. But here's what you do alone at home. Over the decades and over the centuries and millennia, we've had different ideas, philosophies, theologies come up with several words. One would be contemplation. One would be meditation. One would be prayer. But they all mean the same thing. And they all make you do one thing, and that's focus. And what it makes you do is focus in on yourself and your priorities. Now, I'll never forget, I've had a pretty good life. I had great parents. I'm totally in love with my wife and my 4 children. I love the work I do. I don't have anything to complain about. So many, many years ago, when I was a young guy in my 30s, a friend of mine who's this genius character who got 4 PhDs just for the hell of it and was a surfer, etc., said, I want to get on you and I want to do hypnotherapy and I'm going to regress you. And I said, oh, should I do this with him? I really love the guy, but on the other hand, I said, well. So he regressed me, and I went back from 35 to 33 and about 29. And I got to 16, and he said I cried like a baby who was just hurt by his mother for an hour. And I sobbed, and I knew this was true because when I got up, my shirt was wet, the table was wet. And he said, you kept talking about something that was really profound in your life. And listen to this. This was nothing that anyone would ever think would have caused a problem. When I was 16, I was a musician, and I worked my way through school, and I love music. See, I've been blessed. I loved what I did when I was young. I love what I do now. And basically, the way I related with my father, he was very mechanical. He was an architect, a hardworking, good man who loved me. He didn't get music at all. He loved music. He listened to it, but he didn't get music, and he didn't get musician. So I went to him at 16, and I invited him out to a concert that was very important for me. And I thought it was just a concert when I was 16. But what I was doing is stepping up and asking, do you accept me as a man? And he was very busy and didn't mean harm to me, but said, no, I can't. I'm busy, etc. And that profoundly impacted me and restricted me and limited me from 16 years old to 35 years old for all those years. And you would never have thought something like this. So you're right, love. Things that are traumatic for you. Some of us know the traumas, but even incidental things that do not seem traumatic were traumatic. When he released me after this, I'm going to tell you, I felt like I could fly. And I don't think I ever stopped flying. I think I grew wings from that. So we see it here on a daily basis. When people come here, it's not food first, it's head first. Because if you can resolve these issues, these traumas, these incidental things that have blocked you and limited you, then you're going to start to love, respect, and honor yourself so that you eat right, you exercise, and you do all of the other functional things that allow you to have a full, happy, and healthy life. So focus by meditation, prayer, contemplation. If you have the economic ability and are fortunate enough to live in an area where there's somebody who's gifted at psychotherapy or some form of regression, I'd strongly suggest you do this. Neuro-linguistic programming classes. This teaches you about words and the way you reflect words and the way you use words. And sometimes, years ago, I used to run around and say to people, oh, I'm going to die. And somebody grabbed me 35 years ago and said to me, what are you? You never say you're going to die. You're actually projecting that you're going to die. And little things like this that nobody thinks about most of the time. And they sound a little new age until I've seen them applied for 40 years, and I realize this is not new age. This is cutting-edge psychotherapy that we understand now. So apply those things, become a happier, healthier person, because what Hippocrates' objective is to make healthy, sane people so that we can be good examples for the rest of humanity, so we bring humanity back to our beginning again, where everything was fine, that disease didn't exist, everyone lived in total harmony, not only with other human beings, but every creature on this earth, and we respected the earth that we live on. We didn't destroy it, we didn't pollute it, we didn't take more than we needed, we weren't greedy. So here at Hippocrates, that's what we do. We bring people back to the basics again and show them that everything really, really, really is simple. And when you know things are simple, then you move forward with openness and happiness and with enthusiasm. And it takes getting out those traumas inside of yourself.